I'm Arpita, I'm an architect, and I'm very, very happy to be here. Before I start my talk, I wanted to ask all of you an internal question that I want you to ask yourselves. In life, have there ever been moments where any of you have been like, okay, I know what to do, and then suddenly there's like a pause inside? You're feeling like, okay, the world is just not making sense to me. Or when you're going on a very important path that you just got selected for, you're like, okay, now everything's going to be fine. And then again you reach a stage and you're like, oh no, this is not what I was expecting. The haze? Yeah, we've all been there. So you see, my journey, it didn't start with a breakthrough or like a eureka moment. It started in a pause. It started in the pandemic when everything was silent. The silence that had stretched. The world didn't know what to do, and everybody was just like worried. In that piece of silence, my journey began. You see, I wasn't always like this. I was raised to be somebody very confident and somebody very out there. I was raised to lead with depth. I was raised to leave always everything which is unnecessary and lead from a place of inner. And during the pandemic, I realized that I have a capability of noticing small things. I started noticing the light and how it hits the wall, how a space feels, when people walk in, and how beauty sweeps through a room like breath. So that's what I did, right? That's how I started my journey as an architect, as an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but as a woman and as a young architect, it was tough. But I still started. Not because I wasn't fearful, it was very stressful, but because fear no longer felt like a good enough reason to pause. And that's how Atelier Astil started. My company, it's not just a company in just an essence, it's a company that is my extension of how I live. And in that process, I discovered this. I discovered that you redefine your reality when you stop asking for permission. In the essence, you see, redefining reality is nothing. It is when you just leave out success and aesthetics of it. It is when you stop accepting the limits that the world has given to you and you start redefining it in your own way. And that's exactly what I did. I stopped asking. I was like, okay. And I stopped looking at the general rules of society and how we're supposed to be. You see, I started becoming okay with the contradictories. You can be young and lead. You can be a woman and still be in charge. You can create something beautiful and something bold and solid. And you can build and speak softly and still shake foundations. But you see, it wasn't always like this. In the beginning, it wasn't. I was young, as I've told you. And in a country and the world, I would say, we value experience more than mastery. So that's what happened to me. The rooms that I walked into were not very welcoming always. The people that I always surrounded myself with were not as collaborative. It wasn't just the people, you see, it wasn't just society. It was my clients in the initial days. It was people who worked with me who didn't know me yet. They all asked me for more experience, more time, more information, and though I had all of it, and I was good, you see, I didn't come from titles. I didn't come from a boardroom behind me. I didn't come from a lot of backing. And they wanted that, right? I was told that confidence had a costume, that leadership looked like something, and of course the tone had to be a different tone. Well, I wasn't those things. But the more I kept going into those rooms, the more I started working, I realized that, listen, I'm not the problem. The problem is the rooms that were not accepting of this kind of power. It was me then, it's going to be you tomorrow. I want you all to know that, the idea of entrepreneurship sounds like a lot of fun. There are parts of it which are fun. It is not all glamorous. There are times where people will always question you. You have to decide that for yourself when you have to move on. And that's what I did, and hence I'm here. Now everything's changed, you see. Now I'm running my company, not just as a firm, we together make change. We're working everywhere. We're working from New Delhi to Amsterdam. We're doing projects in Dubai. We're doing projects globally. And we're changing something more than just architecture. We're defining the way people live, you know. We're changing emotions, we're changing culture, we're changing all of those things by working, by finding new materials, by researching, by working with good clients now who understand the value of mastery. That's exactly what you should bring in your work. Don't worry what people are saying. Continue working, continue learning, continue exploring more, and you will get there. And of course, the world is like to understand one day. I do seem very confident today, and I am. I'm having great clients, great work, but the confidence, it comes and goes, you see. The haze, it is still there. I'm not untouched by that. Even now, when I enter a room, I fear, what if I'm not good enough? What if the person in front of me thinks, wait, is she too young? Can she understand what we're saying? And I'm always fearful. But the haze is internal now. It's not external anymore. Because on the outside, we come, we perform, because that's what we're supposed to do. No matter how many struggles, how many storms are going inside you, you continue and push yourself. Not because it's easy, but because fear is no longer an option. The minute you feel fear, that's when you make the jump. That's when you have to go inside. And that's what we continue to do so. Unapologetically, with precision, and with confidence that you are here to make a difference in the world. I'm not saying this just to be preachy. I'm telling this to you because on days where I feel that, okay, what is the next step? I still proceed. And you know what, more than anything in the world? It's important to show up. That's what's more important. And so this, I've realized one thing. I'm not just doing architecture anymore. Like all of us, we feel, and so do I am the architecture now. I am the design, I am the foundation, and I am the structure that holds myself through all of this. Let me tell you another thing, guys. When you are climbing the ladder of success, and I really hope you do, put in that effort and do, you will find a lot of people pulling you down. It could be people you thought were friends, could be everybody. They will. And sometimes it's your internal haze, I suggest you continue doing that. Because when you climb that ladder, and when you see down, you will notice that all the people that were pulling you down are still there. Because that's what they've learned to do. I'm going to make a point now that I feel is very important, has changed the way my work, my life is lived. At that point, right, when you're reaching that height and you're looking down, I want you to take your hand and pull out somebody else who is trying to come up. Because these moments define you. That's what I'm doing with my firm now. My work is more and beyond just helping, the general people or my clients. We're moving and doing projects in countries like Ukraine. We're working with children in the sub-Saharan region of Africa and designing schools for them. That is our mission now also as a part of the other work we do. Why? Because I believe that privilege and dignity is not just limited for, based on geographies or other situations. Everybody has the right to do that. And the haze I spoke about in the starting, when you actually help out others and when you find your purpose in the middle of this, you will start realizing that haze and that feeling, you're just like, I don't know what to do. That kind of settles down. You do find your purpose when you are helping other people come up. Those are the days that this helps in. And that is the beauty of everything. And I truly believe that beauty is the biggest form of rebellion, and becoming is its own blueprint. And to any of you sitting here today, feel like the world was not given to you on a perfect platter, that you're in right now may not seem ideal to you, I want you to know you don't need more permission from anybody else. Enough. Ho gaya permission. Le liya sabse. Now do what you need to do from within. Be true to yourself, and because when you work from that, when you lead from that, you define your own reality and you start becoming powerful quietly with your head held high, and you remain headstrong even in haze. Thank you, everybody.